you can start with me first, and I'll decide when you start. He doesn't know it.
chance to watch these tomorrow night, as you know. So between now and then, I encourage you to think about something that you learned in the performance of it versus the rehearsal of it. I encourage you to think about something that you learned in the performance and in the doing versus the rehearsal part of it. So just food for thought, and we'll meet up tomorrow to talk about it. But here, quickly, let's circle up and just hear from everybody. And thank you to those who came to watch, and thank you to the performers and the visual artists. These were really beautiful. Yeah. Hi. Any beginning? Yeah, Caroline.
I don't know how to say this in a way that doesn't sound like kind of weird, but I found myself really appreciating everyone's like body, literally for what it is. Just like I saw in everyone's movement, because it was sort of our own creation, just everyone's quality of movement. Everyone really was just very in the moment. I know Courtney talked about that, especially with her piece, but I saw that with everyone, and everyone's just like, I don't know, it was like an appreciation that was different for every single person, if that makes sense. Everyone had their own style, and it was really beautiful.
Human forms.
I think going off that, it was really interesting because I know which artists in the class my visual artist like worked with, because they got to pose the model a couple times, and like it was interesting to see, like I saw in their sketches, I was like, oh, that's the same pose I'm doing from a different angle. Like they clearly sketched these together, but to see them interpreted in different stories and on different bodies was really interesting, because like this pose came up in 3 or 4 dances right here, but it was all done completely differently, and they got into and out of that form really differently, which I think ties into improv and just thinking about all the different ways your body can achieve the same ends.
To kind of add on to that, it was fascinating to see all the different ways that the dancers, and I guess the artists too, had so many similar ideas, even though there were such different styles associated with them. It was just really cool. I don't know, just a cool statement about the human condition, I guess. Just that we're all like, we all have similarities, even though.
Well, and also how we wear our emotional lives in our bodies. Mm-hmm. That was so profound for me, for to explore sort of how melancholy is in the body, right? What that looks like. And for you, it was so shoulder-based, too, and it makes total sense, right? We have a different body when we're sad.
Yeah.
And you so much about the hands, sort of this revelatory thing. Yeah.
I think the absence of like music really kind of let us be more introspective in our choreography, because I know when I'm choreographing the music, I'm like, okay, well, this is the tone, this is what I feel when I hear this, but just hearing steady beats, makes you think, okay, well, what am I feeling and how do I portray that through my movement?
Yeah, you're all about just kind of hearing what you said. From my personal experience, I was so excited about this project, and then I get to make it and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna have music. And I had a mini freak out, because I feel so embedded in music, especially as a tap dancer, so having that percussiveness is so different than just really reflecting on yourself and the movement that you're doing. Yeah, so it was really interesting, and I feel like I identified a whole new part of myself through that.
I had not rehearsed my piece to the point where it felt like second nature, like I often do with dance company or any other major performance, and that made it feel like improv, which was kind of nice once it got past the scary part, but that once I breathed into it and stayed present, it felt more like improv than it felt like performance.
I also thought it was fun that we, at least in the improv class, had to have an improv transition, so I forced myself to start and end with improv, because I felt like that would sandwich my piece and give me the breath in the piece that if I didn't feel like I did this right, it's okay, you can just move into it and fix it, because I was starting in this realm of it's okay, explore these poses, and it was really interesting to know that I had to hit certain points while still in the improv realm, and I thought that was an interesting way of marrying improv with choreography, that you're not completely set and you're not completely without any guidelines, you're in this weird zone where it's comforting to know, I'm going to get to all these spots, and I have set transitions within some of them, but allowing yourself to play within those was really nice for me.
How did it feel when we brought the pieces together?
That was fun. Yeah, that was cool. And we've done it a couple times in improv, just dancing at the same time. And it's really cool to see and like we saw today, how you really feel that atmosphere is so real that you're with someone else. And so you can, maybe if you have just a little breath where you stop, you both kind of read that and do that together and then begin again at the same time. It's really cool how you can just work together silently.
I thought Sean and Elizabeth.
Yeah, right there in the middle. It was so
Paid
cool.
attention to that. I can't wait for you to see it.
There were like tears in my eyes apart from one part. I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's amazing too. So the happy accidents, right? And thinking about Free Play that we just finished reading, but thinking about how these accidents happen and these amazing moments result. And then other times when there's maybe a little bit more of a plan that you have, like, oh, these bodies should, let's do this. And sometimes that pre-planning doesn't necessarily yield a more polished moment, if you will, right? But it was about the listening that you two were doing to each other and with each other that made those moments powerful. Yay. So we will look forward to Friday. Anyone have questions about getting to my house? We ordered enough food for a small army. So
Are you emailing out your address?
come hungry. It's in the email.
Oh, okay.
My address with the zip code. I just figured you were going to plug it into your phones and figure out how to get there. If you need directions, I'll happily, right, off of Rinaldo Road. Go downtown, West End direction.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yay! Oh, bring your Airmail Dances. Bring the drawings so we can also look at them tomorrow.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, sorry.
I have RA babies. I don't know. I tried to get off, but no one else could take my shit. So I just
if you can bring your drawings, someone else in your class.
I really like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be